Welcome, everybody. Hello. Camera is behaving-ish. It's good enough. Let me get TikTok rolling. Go. All right, good. I think we're going to have a trolley evening on TikTok, I suspect, since we're doing the debate recap as well tonight. So anyway, welcome, YouTubers. And TikTok is just starting to join us right now. There we go. Oh, I didn't pick a thing tonight, did I? Oops, I'm already forgetting. What am I doing? That's not it. Sorry, just reading here on TikTok. Oops. All right. Anyway, welcome, YouTubers. I'm still trying. Oh, hey, TikTok. No sound. That shouldn't be the case. I'm using my better microphone today on TikTok. It better have sound. All right, how about now on TikTok? I know you can't hear. Now can you hear? I just plugged it in again. I'm using my good little microphone. Oh, wait. No, it's right here. You can hear, you can't hear. Now? Yeah. Sometimes I have to unplug and replug. It is not entirely clear why. Thank you for the gifts, guys. Anyway, yes, it does funny things. All right. So thank you, Jorge, Eva, for the gifts. Thank you all. And user 336 and Elizabeth. I think that's it. Yep. Hey, TikToker. Hey, YouTubers. Hey, Andy. What's wow? Anyway, welcome, guys. How are we doing? Thank you, Martin. Thank you, John S. Thank you, Kim. You just got a haircut too, Daniel. Well, that's good. Anyway, how are we all doing today, guys? Yes, my haircutter convinced me to cut my hair short, so I was like, all right. My family's still making fun of it, but I'm used to it now, so now I'm kind of liking it. It took me a bit, and now I'm like, okay, what the heck, It'll grow back anyway, but it's always fun to kind of change it up a little bit. So welcome, everybody. So tonight we're going to talk about the vice presidential debate, and then we're going to talk about Ukraine, of course. Not a ton of some important news from Ukraine, but not a ton of news from Ukraine. So we will start. Makes me look younger. It works for me. That's the most important. It doesn't even matter if it looks good. If it makes me look younger, I'm like, I'll take it. I will admit the debate got me kind of tired too. Jorge said he fell asleep. The debate kind of got me bored too, to be honest. 10 years. I'm surprised hair makes you look younger. Like I know losing weight can make you look younger. Also, losing weight can make you look older too, because you can get like that. But getting hair cut off, I wouldn't think of it looking younger or older necessarily. That's funny. Okay, I'll take younger. Anyway, thank you, Maddie. All right, guys, let's get rolling. We'll start off talking about the debate, and then we will move on to talk about Ukraine. So as you know, last night I just ate, so I'm kind of like burping and stuff. Last night was the vice presidential debate between J.D. Vance, the Republican with Donald Trump, Donald Trump's guy for vice president. Thank you, Pedro. And Tim Walz, the Democrat with Kamala Harris. Kind of interesting. I got kind of bored. Thank you, Pedro. It kind of went the way I expected. Okay. Now, I will tell you right now, the polls show that people think it was a tie, which is interesting to me. Thank you, Family Lavery, Alan and Charles, all for the gifts there. People overall think it was a tie. Vance, they give the slight edge in some of the polls, but like by 1 or 2 percentage points, which isn't enough to make a difference, really. It's pretty much a tie. Thank you, Maddie. Thank you, Jezek. What happened was basically J.D. Vance is clearly a good debater. In terms of the optics, people always hate this when we talk about optics, but optics are very important in politics. Optics meaning how do you come across, right? Not the substance. And people get crazy like that. The substance is more important than how you look and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, tell that to the voters. It's really not, right? This is why I like when we talk about Kamala Harris and the way she looks, or Hillary Clinton, or even Donald Trump or whatever. Looks matter, for example. J.D. Vance was less creepy than usual. He has a weird disconnect with humanity at times, we've seen, which make people a little creeped out by him. Tim Walz is super friendly, super outgoing, regular guy. J.D. Vance was less creepy, and Tim Walz was less friendly, which is interesting. Meaning he was a little more uncomfortable. He was nervous at the beginning. He calmed down, but he didn't calm down for like an hour. He still was talking too fast. I think he was over-prepared. Now, mind you, the polls, thank you, Lotus, for subscribing. Thank you, Life, for the gift. The polls show pretty much a tie in terms of what the voters thought. I thought J.D. Vance did a very good job. He lied a lot. He refused to answer questions. He didn't want to talk about abortion. He didn't want to talk about immigration, which was interesting. But he did a good job of it. He was very smooth, lying, but knew his facts, so to speak, meaning he could pull up all this data, even though he was lying about it, right? Tim Walz struck me as, again, nervous, talking too fast. He honestly was trying to give too much information. Like I was talking about this, when they're talking about abortion, just talk about Donald Trump took away the constitutionally protected right of women to have an abortion in America. Thank you, cool. That's all you need to say. And you talk about that one point. But your whole point is, you want to know what Donald Trump's going to do on abortion? Let me tell you what he already did. He took away your right. Every single woman in America no longer has a constitutionally protected right to abortion because of Donald Trump. I mean, that's your talking point. You don't get into, let me give you 3 different examples of 3 different women in 3 different states. It was too prepared for my tastes. Okay. It was too prepared. Thank you, Uncle Stevie, for the rose and Sexseed. Cool. So, and Life. So that was one problem. I think, like I said, he would have been better slowing down, talking about Obamacare. Same thing. He went into all these crazy details of Obamacare. Thank you, Mikey. All you need to tell people is, see this guy next to me? His boss tried to kill Obamacare again and again and again and again, and wasn't planning on replacing it with anything. He was going to take away your health care. He was going to raise insurance prices for 40% of you listening out there right now. That's all you have to say, and just keep pointing it out. We know what they're going to do. They talked about it's just a lot of different issues. Anyway, it drove me a little crazy. Thank you, Adventures. Thank you, Running. And I think it was interesting on CNN. There was Abby, what's her name, who I don't really like I don't think she's very, very good. She said, clearly Tim Walz, thank you, Running, for the gift. She said, clearly Tim Walz wasn't prepared enough. And Dana Bash, who's very good. She's one of the CNN hosts, blonde woman, excellent. Dana goes, no, it was the opposite. He was too prepared. And that is something that can happen. Thank you, Russell. Is that basically you get so many facts in your head and so much data that you're trying to remember the key words and everything, and you're not sticking to the main points. Any case, but the polls do show it was pretty much a tie, which is interesting. It was pretty much a tie. But now we're going to talk about the fun part. Oh, baseball dad, you should hang, because we're about to talk about Donald Trump dissing the troops, because we know Donald Trump hates the troops. And Tim Walz hating J.D. Vance hating democracy. So hope you hang out for a few more minutes now that you've been muted and can't speak, because we're going to talk about Republicans hating democracy, at least the MAGA Republicans, and hating America. So a little bit more on this. Net favorables. This was interesting. Both candidates went up in the polls in terms of favorability, Vance and Walz, which was interesting. Almost an equal amount. Vance's favorability went up 19 points. Walz's favorability went up 23 points, so pretty close. One of the sort of key parts of what happened, which was interesting, is that J.D. Vance refused to say that Trump lost the election. Interesting, right? Republicans are still refusing to support our democracy. Again, and they hate the troops, and we're going to talk about that in a second too. Donald Trump hates the troops, but refusing to support our democracy, which is as un-American as you can get. You might as well just become a Russian or something at this point, right? If you're gonna hate American democracy, which Republicans now do. Vance gets asked about it and says, "Do you believe Donald Trump lost the election?" Vance goes, "I'd rather talk about the future." He pushed him again. He wouldn't answer the question. Refused to say Donald Trump lost the election. Now, thank you, Richard. Walz did a good job here. Kamala Harris's VP did a good job here in pointing out why the question matters. Because last time around in 2020, Donald Trump tried to violently overthrow our government. He tried to have a coup d'etat. He set a mob of 1,000 people that stormed through our Congress, broke into our Congress, broke the windows, attacked 140 policemen, several of which died in the ensuing days, violently attacked the police, using American flag poles to jam the police and hit them. I mean, horrific. Doors, crushing them in doors. It's just horrible what these Republicans did. And their goal was to kill Mike Pence, who was the sitting vice president. They said they were going to kill him. Donald Trump supporters. And they almost got to him too. He was about half a minute away from getting him, actually. And this is what J.D. Vance was defending. J.D. Vance said, no, it was fine. What happened last time? He goes, what happened? Actually, the exact quote was great. Donald Trump peacefully gave over power last time. I don't know what you're talking about. Peacefully gave over power. Actually, Donald Trump peacefully gave over power after he tried to violently overthrow the government and got several police officers killed because he sicked 1,000 of his supporters to attack the U.S. Congress and try to kill the vice president. So yes, Donald Trump peacefully handed over power after he tried to violently overthrow our government. The other thing, Donald Trump didn't even show up for the inauguration. It is traditional in a democracy, at least, not like Russia, where Donald Trump and Republicans prefer, they prefer Russia's dictatorship, Russia's brutal America-hating dictatorship to America. But in America, the guy who loses shows up at the inauguration of the next person, the swearing in. Trump refused to even come. Yeah. Pretty sick. A little more here from yesterday. So J.D. Vance claimed they talked about healthcare. And as we all know, Donald Trump is trying to kill all sorts of different healthcare programs. He's trying to raise prescription drug prices for seniors. He wants to get rid of all the protections for that. The Democrats did a lot to really lower those prices under Biden and Harris. Trump wants to get rid of them to raise prices on seniors. He tried to kill the healthcare program that I get my insurance from, that a lot of Americans get their insurance from. He tried to kill the healthcare program that protects everyone in America with pre-existing conditions. 40% of Americans have pre-existing health conditions. 40%. Now, some people think pre-existing conditions sounds like, oh, you mean people with cancer. We do mean people with cancer, but we also mean people who have asthma, people who have allergies, right? People who've had problems with their eyes, with their retinas or their cataracts or whatever, right? Pre-existing condition could be high blood pressure, high cholesterol. Pre-existing condition can even be being a woman. Women were charged more for healthcare before Obamacare, before the Affordable Care Act, before President Obama's healthcare proposal became law 10 years ago, 14 years ago now, actually. Women were charged more for healthcare because women are different. They have lots of health problems that men don't have, like babies and stuff. So they were just going to charge women more for health insurance because being a woman was considered a pre-existing health condition, like a pre-existing disease, being a woman, okay? The Democrats got rid of that. Donald Trump wants to bring it back. J.D. Vance literally lied and said, oh, well, Donald Trump actually saved Obamacare. He salvaged it and made it work. Donald Trump actually spent his entire presidency trying to repeal Obamacare, trying to repeal the law, which basically means you destroy the law and you make it go away. That was what Donald Trump did, quite literally. He did it famously. You might have even seen this. He did the last time when he finally gave up was because he was one vote away from killing my health care. And John McCain, a very famous conservative Republican who Trump hated, came up and went like this, voting no, meaning against repealing the healthcare law, and saved it. Okay. I mean, it was amazing. But Donald Trump, again, J.D. Vance he just lied. He just lied last night. Trump did not save Obamacare. Trump actually cut the money for Obamacare. He cut the subsidies that help pay for the insurance for people who can't afford it. Okay. And he tried to kill it and had nothing to replace it with. Trump got asked during the debate with Kamala Harris, 2 weeks ago, what his alternative is to Obamacare, right? You want to get rid of it. You try to get rid of it. What's your alternative? He goes, well, I have some concepts of a plan. Like, I'm not really sure yet. Not really sure yet. Trump, tried to get rid of it 4 years ago, guys, repeatedly. And it's been 4 years. It's now 8 years that Donald Trump has been trying to get rid of this healthcare law, and he doesn't know what he's going to replace it with. So that was another thing J.D. Vance lied about last night. Gun violence. Vance's solution, how in America, we basically have a mass killing every day. I think we have 1.5 every day, actually, in America. Sort of mass shooter, and they like to go after schools. Pretty much every month, we have somebody attack a school. And J.D. Vance said his solution to that was not figuring out how to get the guns off the street. His solution was, we need to put stronger doors and windows on schools so that it's harder for the gunman to shoot through the window at the little kids sitting there. That's it. That was J.D. Vance's solution, was stronger doors and windows. Guys, they don't care. MAGA Republicans, who are now Republicans, there's no point in calling them MAGA Republicans. And if if you say you're still a Republican, then honestly, unless you vote for Kamala Harris, you're included. They don't care about gun violence in America. They never have. The Republicans are the reason that the gun of choice is back on the streets, the AR-15. It's the gun that mass shooters prefer to use in America when they're killing children, is the AR-15. And Republicans are the reason why it's back on the streets. The ban expired. Republicans refused to pass the ban again. They blocked it. Another thing he kind of really didn't quite lie about, he just did a bad job with. Anyway, it was very weird. I mean, he did, thank you, Real Life Works. Vance was very polished. I mean, I thought he did a good job in the sense of he was a liar, but he was very polished. Abortion. He was kind of afraid to talk about abortion, which was interesting. Very afraid, which again, I thought that was very interesting because, J.D. Vance wants to ban abortion nationwide, right? Donald Trump has talked about putting women in prison who get abortions. Donald Trump is responsible for the constitutionally protected right of a woman in America to have an abortion. Your right used to be guaranteed in the Constitution. Donald Trump took that away by appointing the justices of the Supreme Court who he promised they would take away your right to an abortion, and they did. Okay? J.D. Vance didn't even want to go there. This is what's interesting, too, is Republicans have done the worst things to women, like with abortion, and they were really proud of it. Trump has bragged about it, but when they get on TV and get asked about it, they go, well, it's very interesting. Thank you, Nicola. I don't even remember what else. It was just sort of a nonstop lie fest. It really was. And again, unfortunately, Walz is just not that good a debater. He got some, again, he did get some good things, like he got J.D. Vance to admit he wouldn't support our democracy. That was helpful, scary, but helpful. But he's just, in China, didn't ask about China. The only question, this is really bad. The moderators asked nothing about China other than some bizarre question about, well, Tim Walz said that he was in China as a student during Tiananmen, but he was really there 2 months before or something like that. And it was or 2 months after. And it was okay, 30, not even 35 years ago. This is probably 40 years ago, or well, maybe 35 years ago, 40 years ago, right? Okay. He was off by a couple months, but they didn't ask about China itself. Nothing about China policy. Nothing about Russia policy. Nothing about Ukraine. Nothing, right? The Republicans want to get down on their knees for Vladimir Putin. Donald Trump basically works for Vladimir Putin. There's a very creepy connection between Trump and Putin, whether he's been bribed, whether he's being blackmailed, whether Trump just wants to get a bribe, right? But there's some creepy connection. The Republicans now love our enemies. They hate America. They hate our troops, but they love our enemies. They love Russia. They love North Korea, the dictator there. Donald Trump always talks about exchanging love letters with that dictator. J.D. Vance should have been asked about Russia, right? Republicans love Vladimir Putin. Putin hates America. Putin considers America his enemy. Putin's been attacking America for years, and Republicans love him for attacking America. Republicans should be asked about that. Why are you so un-American that you support someone who literally hates our country and has, been instrumental in harming? Vladimir Putin put a bounty on American troops in Afghanistan. He said I forget, it was $10,000 or something for each American soldier killed. This is the guy you people are supporting. You should be ashamed of yourselves. Absolutely ashamed of yourselves. Didn't get asked about that either. So very bad across the board. Speaking of Donald Trump hating the troops. So we've talked before about Trump. Trump really hates American soldiers. And Republicans do too now if they're supporting Trump, really. It's just by, let's face it, if a Democrat were voting for a presidential candidate that hated our troops, you would all say those Democrats hate the troops too, right? And well, the Republicans, Donald Trump, as you know, has called American prisoners of war and American killed in action during wars suckers and losers for getting killed and getting captured. He hates them. Thank you, Jeremy. We know this because Donald Trump's own chief of staff, the man Donald Trump picked, a 3-star Marine general that Donald Trump picked to be his chief of staff at the White House, to run the White House for him, said he heard Donald Trump say that American soldiers were suckers and losers for being killed in war and being caught in war as prisoners. And that was part of the reason Donald Trump didn't want to visit their graves, because our soldiers were suckers and losers. Okay. Again, 3-star Marine Corps general who Donald Trump thought was Republican enough that Trump actually hired him to run the White House, right? This is Trump's own people, right? This is your Trump's own people saying this. Marine general. Trump hates the troops. So what did Trump do yesterday? He made fun of 109 American service members who suffered traumatic brain injury when Iran attacked American troops stationed in Iraq back in 2020. So back in 2020, Trump killed this guy Soleimani, who was a Iranian, top commander general, which, was kind of badass. A little dangerous, kind of badass though. I'll give Trump credit for this one because I have no love for the Iranian leadership. The Iranians retaliated by sending missiles at this base. It's Al-Assad Air Base, I believe, in Iraq that 1,000 U.S. troops were stationed at. The bombs went off near the troops. They didn't hit the troops directly, but the percussion, the concussion of the explosion was so strong that it gave 109 troops traumatic brain injuries. Trump at the time called them headaches. They're just headaches. He did it again yesterday. Trump was asked by a reporter, because J.D. Vance and Trump keep claiming, Iran never hit us when I was president, right? They never went after us. Look at Joe Biden. They keep attacking the Americans. Actually, Iran did go after us. They hurt 109 U.S. soldiers who they injured with a bombing in Iraq, and Trump did nothing about it. So a question gets asked, thank you, Vampy, and says, well, you were president when Iran attacked American soldiers in Iraq. 109 of them suffered traumatic brain injury. Do you now regret that you didn't do enough, that you weren't strong enough in countering Iran? Trump goes, what do you mean injured? They weren't injured. Wait, I'm going to see if I've got the actual quote here. Yeah, I don't have the exact quote. Oh, I've got it on video. They weren't injured. They had headaches. That's all they had. They had traumatic brain injury, guys. So I'm sorry, how many of them? Dozens of them received the Purple Heart because of the missile attack. He literally said it like that. I've got the video I put the video on TikTok. I can't pull it up because it's on my phone and my iPad. He literally goes, wait, what do you mean injured? They weren't injured. They got headaches. Some of them got headaches. That's how he put it. Yeah, the wig. I know. I don't have the wig handy. The wig is upstairs. Sorry, I had to move stuff upstairs for the movers the other day, so I will get the wig. But yes, dozens received the Purple Heart, which is a medal you receive when you are injured in the military. One soldier told CBS he had constant headaches and memory loss as a result of the traumatic brain injury. Quote, the person I was prior to a traumatic brain injury, he's gone. That's one of the soldiers who got hurt. Trump made fun of them yesterday. I mean, guys, he's not commander-in-chief. He's a horrible human being. I mean, he's just a horrible human being. And you really need to, it makes me sick that these people because these are the people who used to claim Republicans that they were the patriots, that they were the ones who loved the troops. They don't love the troops. They don't love America. They tried to overthrow our government. They don't love our Constitution. They love our enemies who are trying to destroy us, like Putin or North Korea. They don't love the troops. They think our troops are suckers and losers, right? They killed not just our troops, the most heroic of our troops, those who were killed in action, are suckers and losers, according to Republicans today, right? And then they make fun of American soldiers who get brain injuries from an attack from Iran while Trump was president. They make fun of those soldiers today. And they come in the comments here. Of course, a lot of the people in the comments here are Russians, by the way. They're not real Republicans anyway. But they come and they defend this. I mean, have you no shame? Have you no love of country? It boggles my mind. You'd think they would say, okay, yeah, he's a pig, but I don't like Kamala Harris. I could imagine that, right? I mean, I still think that's pretty bad, but at least you're being honest. If you say, look, Trump's a pig. He hates the troops. He hates America, but I want my tax cut or whatever. At least you're being honest. But to literally pretend like this guy loves America and this guy loves our troops and this guy loves you and cares about you and cares about freedom and democracy. I mean, come on. It's just he's already made that clear. It's just anyway. Polls. A new Marquette Law School poll of Wisconsin voters. Wisconsin is one of the key states. Finds Harris supported by 52% and Trump supported by 48% among registered voters. Same number among likely voters, which is very good. So she's 4 points ahead. That's good. Trump in Erie, Pennsylvania said yesterday, we'll sort of stop talking about Trump after this. Well, we won't. There's another Trump story too. Thank you, Addie New. Trump said in Erie, Pennsylvania yesterday, Trump keeps lying and claiming crime is on the rise. Crime is not on the rise. Google it, by the way. You can Google this. You'll find what I'm telling you is true. Trump is lying again. And again, any Republicans out there, maybe you should start thinking about why it is that your favorite presidential candidate has to constantly lie to you to get your vote. What's he hiding? Why won't he just tell you the truth, right? Trump keeps saying crime is on the rise. This got fact-checked to death in the last couple of weeks because he claimed during the debate it was a lie. Crime actually reached a peak during the Trump years and has been going down ever since violent crime has been going down. Violent crime is now at like a 50-year low under Biden. It was at an all-time high under Trump. Again, Google it. Google it. You know, this is information is free. Facts are, that's the one thing so far that Trump and the Republicans can't hide. They can't hide facts. They can lie about them, but you can always Google them and get the facts. So crime is at a low. Trump claimed yesterday at a campaign stop on camera, there's video, you can Google it, about crime, saying the police aren't allowed to do their job. This is why crime is so high in America. To stop crime, you need one really violent day. He says one rough hour, and I mean real rough. The word would get out and it would end immediately. He wants the police to go out and kill everybody. Just go and pick people they think are criminals and go out and beat them up and kill them for an hour or two. And he thinks that will solve our crime problem in America, is sending the police out to just beat up and kill and shoot citizens who they think might be criminals. Yeah, lovely man. Finally, the special counsel, and then we'll talk about Ukraine. There isn't a ton of Ukraine news. Like I said, there's some important Ukraine news, but not a ton of Ukraine news. Finally, the special counsel. And keep the gifts coming, guys. Remember, if you're a good American or a good foreigner, a good European or good Canadian, please keep the gifts coming. I do this for free, and I pay the bills with your guys' gifts. So please keep them coming on TikTok and YouTube. I appreciate it. Subscriptions are always welcome as well. The special counsel brief. So very complicated. Thank you, Marie. Appreciate that. Thank you, Katie. Thank you, Randy, Fred, and Hazel. I made that one up in Hazel. I was assuming it was Hazel. Thank you, Julian. The special counsel. So one of the many, thank you, Stulb. Thank you, Luis, Bappo. One of the many indictments that Trump is facing, one of the many felony charges. Remember, thank you, Martin. He's been convicted of 34 felonies already. And he's got like another 50 or so felonies that he's being charged with in all sorts of different cases, from election fraud, to trying to overthrow the government. Thank you, Martin. Thank you, literally. Thank you. Who is that? C. Scott for the rock star, Randy and Fred again. Thank you, Julian. So the special counsel who's going after Trump on one of the election charges had to rewrite the brief because remember, Trump won the Supreme Court case where they basically tried to get him off of being charged. So they said, oh, president can't be charged for things he did while he was in office, this kind of crap. So the special counsel had to rewrite the brief, the legal brief, to try to rewrite it to say, yes, it applies to Trump. And he wanted it made public. Well, the judge just released part of it today publicly. Thank you, Adventures. Thank you, PC Noel, for the gifts. Made some of it public. And in one part, for example, let me read you this. Thank you. Who is that? Synthetic Z-Man. Fun name. Thank you for the gift. Listen to this. After Mr. Trump's Twitter post focused the enraged mobs. So they're talking about when Trump sicked 1,000 of his Republican fans to attack the Congress in order to overthrow our government, kill the vice president. They were literally calling for Mike Pence to be lynched, Donald Trump's vice president. They set up a gallows, with a noose to like hang him. I mean, it was sick. So after this was taking place, and we already knew on TV that they were trying to find Pence, they were trying to kill him. Okay. After Trump's Twitter post focused the enraged mob's attention on harming Mr. Pence, Trump wrote as as we knew, the mob was trying to capture Pence and kill him, okay, on January 6th. Trump then put up a tweet attacking Pence and saying he's responsible for all of this because he wouldn't lie and claim that, oh, we don't know who won, so we can't certify the election, because Congress on January 6th officially certifies the election. The vice president oversees it. So the mob is trying to find, the violent mob has broken into the Congress. They're trying to find Mike Pence to kill him. Thank you, Synthetic. And what does Trump do? He puts out another tweet criticizing Mike Pence, saying, if you're mad today, he's the guy who did it. Right? I mean, kind of sounds like he's sicking them on Pence, right? So listen to this. After Trump's Twitter post focused the enraged mob's attention on harming Mr. Pence and the Secret Service. So this is from the brief. And the Secret Service took the vice president to a secure location. An aide rushed into the dining room off of the Oval Office in the White House, where Trump was watching television. The aide alerted him to the developing situation, meaning the danger that was increasing here, the developing situation, in the hope that Mr. Trump would take action to ensure Mr. Pence's safety. Oops. Where's the, oops. Hang on. If I don't have it, I remember how it ended. Trump, I don't have the quote here. Oh my God. I moved these paragraphs around. Trump responded. Basically, the quote was something to the effect of, Trump said, I don't care. He said he doesn't care that the mob was trying to kill Pence. They said, you just tweeted about Pence and that he was the guy and the mob is trying to kill him. And he said, I don't care. Yeah. This is who you all are supporting for president. Congratulations. All right. Ukraine. It is day 951 of Vladimir Putin's special 3-day military operation. The Ukrainians have lost the town of Vuhledar. It's an important town in eastern Ukraine. The Russians have been trying to get it for 2 years. They finally did get it. Ukrainian forces have pulled out. Sky News says the area is tactically significant due to its position on top of a hill, giving troops a better vantage point and its proximity to key logistic routes. Reuters adds control of Vuhledar, which lies at the intersection of the eastern and southern battlefields, is significant because it will ease Russia's advance as it tries to pierce deeper behind the Ukrainian defensive lines. Thank you, Synthetic. You're on a roll today with these gifts. I appreciate it. Thank you. Oops, I'm just looking up. It's not letting me scroll. What are you doing? I'm trying to scroll to see the other. Here we go, to see the other gifts. Janice, thank you for the roses. Hey. Okay, for some reason, TikTok's being weird today. All right, thank you, Annie. Oh, that's a cool one. I've not seen that before. Thank you, Annie. All right, it's not letting me. All right, it's not letting me scroll. Ooh. Something weird's going on with my screen. All right. I'm not going to scroll anymore because it's, thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Annie. I'm a little afraid to scroll to see your gifts because TikTok's not letting me. Something's weird with the caching or something. Saying thank you, Synthetics. Thank you, Randy. Thank you, Maddie. So in case I miss any of your gifts, I apologize because normally I scroll back to check them out and thank you guys, but it's not letting me scroll today. It's kind of, it's like there's a cache problem almost. Thank you, Jezek. Thank you, Sue, for sharing. Thank you, Annette. All right. So yes, Vuhledar, kind of scary. Russian proxies in occupied Kherson Oblast. Oh yeah. So the Russians are occupying, of course, 18% of Ukraine. Thank you, Addie. And they've announced that in one of the areas they're occupying, they're going to make Ukrainian men, young men, sign up to join the Russian army. They're making Ukrainians fight in the Russian army now, which honestly, they ought to pick up a gun and turn on the troops, frankly, their own troops, obviously, but pretty sick. U.S.-based Aravosis signed an agreement with a Ukrainian company to localize its production of Switchblade 600 loitering kamikaze drones. What that means is basically the Ukrainians have reached a deal with an American company to make suicide kamikaze drones in Ukraine itself. These are the drones that have little bombs inside, and they can hover and like hang out in the sky for half an hour, even a couple hours. I think the more longer range ones, and then come in and go boom, and can hit a car, a person, a tank, depending on the size of the drone, and go boom. So very good thing for the Ukrainians. Finally, Zelensky says his country is already in the process of producing 1.5 million drones this year with the capacity to create 4 million drones annually. That's what they're heading for, which is good. So anyway, thank you, Randy Fred, for the gift. All right, so let's hang and talk. All right, that's it for the news. So yeah, we talk about the election, talk about Ukraine. Boom goes the dynamite. Exactly. So, so what else, guys? Fatels. Thank you, Synthetic. You keep doing those gifts. I took a nap today. I'm still yawning. Latest with Iran and Israel. The latest is that, and this is a little weird, Biden, according to the press reports, Biden went public and said that Israel, thank you for the whale. We love that. We haven't seen that whale in a while, Phoenix. Thank you for that. We love that whale. It's a very generous whale as well, but it's a really cool gift. Thank you for that. Israel. Yeah, Israel. So Biden, as you know, the Iranians launched like hundreds of missiles at Israel, and thank you, Man Bear, for the gifts. And the Israelis are preparing to respond. Obviously, said they're going to respond heavily. Thank you, Cheryl. And the U.S., by the way, Trump's own national security advisor said if Iran attacks Israel, there's going to be a very harsh response from the United States. Biden came out and said Israel said before the attack, because the Iranians basically what happened was the Iranians put out the message that they were going to attack Israel, right? Thank you, Courtney. And Israel responded and put out the message: if you attack us, we're going after your oil or your nuclear facilities, because Iran's trying to build a nuclear bomb. Thank you, Randy Fred. So what does Biden do? Biden comes out today and says Israel should not respond by hitting Iran's nuclear facilities. And we're all going, why is that? Like, guys, the man, I swear to God, he's, again, a better president than Donald Trump. Donald Trump would just hand like every country on the planet to the Russians and the Iranians and everything else. I mean, Donald Trump's the reason the Iranians are closer to building a nuclear weapon now. He ended the agreement that was stopping Iran from creating a nuclear weapon. But Joe Biden is such a scaredy cat, chicken shit, spineless wonder. It blows my mind. I mean, it's just pathetic. And we've seen this with how he handles Ukraine. Again, this is what Iran figured. Iran figured going into this. I guarantee you, Iran looked at this and said, and I told you, China's thinking the same thing. If this guy's president, you can do whatever you want, because he'll fight back, but he'll also get scared. He'll fight back, like he helped Ukraine do a lot of damage to Russia, but he gets scared too. He only helped Ukraine like push back, not actually win. The reason it's a stalemate in Ukraine between Russia and Ukraine is because that's what Biden wanted. It's also what the Germans wanted. French kind of wanted it too. They've changed their mind a little late, but Biden and the Germans wanted that. So what he's doing today is, that's the bee sting thing. Thank you, Synthetic. What he's doing today is Biden is now saying that Israel should not attack Iran's nuclear weapons facilities. Why not? I mean, first of all, why the hell not? I mean, somebody needs to attack Iran's nuclear weapons facilities. I'm sorry, like we really want Iran to get the freaking bomb, but it is also just an incredibly stupid thing to say publicly. I just can't, he's worried about a war in the Middle East. Yeah. Again, best way to have a war in the Middle East is not to stand up to Iran, is to convince countries like Iran, China, Russia, that the U.S. is afraid to respond because we're afraid of war. We're afraid of war. So you can do whatever you want. That's the best way to get them. That's the best way to get China to start a war with Taiwan by invading, to get Russia to invade Europe, is for them to think that the U.S. is afraid. It's pathetic. So absolutely pathetic. Man. Anyway. What else? Russia sending more weapons to Iran? I didn't see. What was there? Was there a latest on what they were sending? I didn't see. Did I get a haircut? What do you think? I mean, what kind of a question is that? Did I get a haircut? Hello? Where is it? So, well, the oil thing is a little different. I mean, if Israel were to attack Iran's oil facilities, they could throw the international oil markets in turmoil. Oil prices could go up. That would hurt the American economy. So there's a lot of reasons why, even though you want to take money away from Israel, from Iran, there are legitimate reasons why you wouldn't want to go after the oil. Gets tricky, right? That does get tricky. I know you're being funny. I swear. Don't worry. But the nuclear facilities, at some point, we're going to have to blow up Iran's nuclear facilities anyway, at some point. I mean, better Israel do it than us, and better it happen now than later, but anyway. Thank you, Randy. What else? The longshoremen strike. I have not liked what I've been reading, but I don't know. There's a strike of the longshoremen. It's the men who helped put, or the men and women who helped put, all the stuff on boats and things, from what I understand. Ships, international shipping, commerce, they facilitate it, right? They help put the goods on the ships and take them off and stuff. And they're striking here in the US. What I've not liked is I am reading that, they're saying they're not getting paid enough. And then I read what the salaries are. These son of a bitches, the average salary is $150,000 a year for these guys. And I'm like, holy shit, $150,000 a year is their average. They're average. So a lot of them make a lot more. The head of their union that keeps talking on TV is making almost $1 million a year. Toast Orb, it is true. I saw the data. I've seen the data repeatedly. I mean, so I'm not, who knows? I am not I'm not even sure how to say this, because you've always got to be careful criticizing. I have a healthy skepticism of unions. Unions have done a lot of good in the past. I'm not anti-union, but I'm healthily skeptical of unions to some degree, because I think sometimes they're bullies. And that's been my impression of them, which I don't like. But they've done good work many years ago in, getting safe workplaces and things like that. So yeah, starting is 90,000. That's insane if that's true. That's absolutely insane. But again, I don't know what all of their complaints are. I don't know. Maybe some of their complaints are legit, right? I mean, so I don't know. I just know their salaries are so freaking large that they're getting paid more than enough. But again, I still want to know about the rest of it. It has to do with automation. See, but that's part of it too. We're going to stop progress. We're not going to automate jobs. I just don't know what do you do? I mean, no, I mean, they're going to lose their jobs eventually. They are, I mean, the same thing happened with the auto industry. What is it? 100 years ago or whenever it was that the what was it? The assembly line and all that stuff kicked in. What are you going to do? The economy is going to keep changing. I mean, anyway. Beep, 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 beep. As the current VP in a camp, will Kamala Harris verify the election? Yes. I mean, again, the only way she's not going to verify it is if Donald Trump literally steals it. But otherwise, of course she will. Fatels. If AI starts taking your job, then, but again, it will, the internet took people's jobs. I mean, television took people's jobs from radio. I mean, it will. They're going to start making movies using AI. And then and what are we going to do? Then they're not going to, Hollywood's already been in trouble. Hollywood's already been losing tons of jobs. Damien always tells me about this because he worked in Hollywood. And, with all the jobs moving to Canada and Georgia and all these other places, California has been decimated, Hollywood itself. I think as a country, we need to figure out what to do to help our workers when things modernize, but things modernize. What do you do? Thank you, Al. VP debate. We did talk about the VP debate at the beginning, Bill. Basically, the polls are showing people think it's a tie. Maybe Vance winning by just 1%, 2 percentage points, not by much. Vance was very slick, wasn't as creepy as usual. Walz wasn't as warm and friendly as usual because Walz seemed to be kind of nervous and talking too fast. And he's a terrible debater. He's clearly just he wasn't bad, but he's a terrible debater in the sense that there were so many opportunities of things where you're going, oh my God, Like you could hit Vance with this and this and this, and Walz was just like, you know, he's a bad debater, guys. I mean, you know, some people can't. I mean, it's not easy. It's not easy to debate, A, and B, to do it on TV. And I've done it on TV. I've done a lot of national television. It's very hard. And because you're there, and it is true. People at home are going, "Oh my God, how did you forget to say this?" And I'm like, well, literally the camera's on you. You're in a room, you know, millions of people are watching, and you just kind of, all the things don't always click in your head. So it's true, you know, but Walz was good enough. Walz was good enough, you know. Now, Bad Gal, what industry are you in that your employer is using AI to perform some of the work? Just curious. I mean, Pavkaz, that's a tough question because it depends. Says, how do you get legitimate information about the Middle East if you live in America? You know, in the end, you got to trust the media. I mean, I'm sorry, but Republicans have kind of made this thing in the last 20 or 30 years to convince people not to trust the media. And then they've now got this alternative media like Fox News that is propaganda. I mean, it's literally just propaganda, which is horrible. I want to watch a news channel that literally has no vested interest, that's just going to tell me what's happening. The problem is people who are anti-Israel are going to tell you the news isn't fair in America and this kind of stuff. So I'm not sure what to tell you. I just read the news, read the New York Times, read the Washington Post, read the BBC. You know, thank you, Diana. Thank you, Vote Blue. You know, read the big papers, watch the main networks. Don't watch Fox, but watch CNN, watch ABC, CBS, NBC. Young Turks, I would stay as far away from the Young Turks as possible. Guess that idiot came from the Young Turks. That idiot that got paid off by the Russians. What's his name? With the Beanie Boy. He was a Young Turk. The Young Turks are horrible. I'm sorry, but they really are horrible. They may be entertaining, but they're horrible. No, you should stick to mainstream news. Don't go to crazy people. Don't find some fringe lunatic. PBS is great. As Luis just said, PBS is very good. National Public Radio in America, very good. But no, don't go to fringe people. Don't go to fringe people. That's just the wrong thing to do. Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Squish. Deutsche Welle, sure. Deutsche Welle is a German publication, or that is very good, or German news network, I guess. TV, they're excellent. They've got an English language shows. I don't know where you find them. Thank you, Squish. Somewhere on the internet, I guess. Thank you, Mike, for the gift. Yeah, interesting question. I mean, Holiday Kid says if Iran's oil fields are bombed, China could get involved. China gets a lot of its oil from Iran. You know, maybe. I don't think China's getting involved in the Middle East. You know, yeah, I'm watching Sky News. Yeah. When I go check out their website. Thank you, Randy and Fred. Thank you, Pav. Lori with the Tiny Diny. France 24. Yeah, I've been on them a few times. But no, I think there's a lot. Just Associated Press is excellent. Yeah, but Associated Press and Reuters are excellent. Reuters is going to start charging now, unfortunately. But honestly, the mainstream news is very good on everything. And it's just part of this weird Republican long-term thing where they, as we said with Trump too, like, especially under Trump, he lies all the time. He's got to convince you not to watch the regular news. Because if you watch the regular news, you're going to find out how much he's lying to you. So they convince people, CNN, who trusts CNN? Well, only normal, intelligent people trust CNN. Yeah, other than that, nobody trusts CNN. The New York Times, same thing. If you're like intelligent and educated and actually know what you're doing, you trust the New York Times. If you're an idiot, you don't. So yeah, but they've got to convince you guys not to watch the real news because the real news is the only people telling you the truth. They want you to go to Fox News where literally it's all bullshit you're being told. It's all propaganda. And it's like, okay, again, you know, you just have to pick what you want. If you want to be fed bullshit, then go to Fox News. If you want to get the facts, go to the mainstream media. You know, I don't go to the left-wing things either. I don't watch MSNBC really because it's too left-wing for my tastes. You know, no, you stick with the real media in the middle. MSNBC is left-wing. CNN, New York Times, Washington Post, they're all middle of the road. They're not left-wing at all. Again, you were told they're left-wing because they had to tell you that. Because Donald Trump, the Republicans have been lying to you about a lot of stuff and the media calls them out. They've got to tell you the media is left-wing. It's the only way you'd say, like, again, when I talk about Donald Trump calling our troops suckers and losers, oh, that's not true. They've taught you to say that's not true about everything because, again, and honestly, it's your fault. You fall for it. Anybody out there who watches this crap and believes it, it's your fault. You're like the Russians with Putin. You know what I mean? At some point, you're responsible for the people you support. If you're going to support Donald Trump in spite of his lies, in spite of his bullshit, then you are kind of responsible. It's not just like, oh, you're really good people. Americans are good people. Republicans are good people. It's just Donald Trump who's bad. Well, not if you support him. I mean, Evan, which is left and right versus neutral? I mean, I'll tell you right now, of the main ones, Fox is right, MSNBC is left. I mean, in terms of mainstream news, that's it. Washington Post, Chicago Tribune, Wall Street Journal, New York Times, all middle of the road. ABC, CNN. The only thing on CNN is, again, you get to the shows at night, it depends. Well, not anymore. I don't anymore. But CNN used to have some hosts that were like Don Lemon was definitely more on the left, right? At night, that's different. That's different. But the guys during the day, no, I'm just very educated and very fair, Zach. I don't put up with bullshit. I was fortunate enough to be born rather intelligent. I got a lot of different degrees and learned a lot. And I know a lot about the world and I know a lot about what's going on. And and I'm a lawyer too, so I don't put up with bullshit. And for you guys, that makes someone liberal if they don't believe in bullshit and they don't stand for bullshit. They don't stand for being lied to by politicians or by their news networks. That makes you a liberal. Nowadays, maybe it does make you a liberal if you believe that facts matter. Maybe it does. Yeah, because conservatives don't care anymore. I mean, so maybe, ironically, you're probably right. I probably am a liberal because I believe like the truth matters. Comments are disappearing because people are assholes, Velcro. We ban people all the time who are being assholes because otherwise the conversation would just be out of control. We get Trump trolls. We get the Russians come a lot when we talk about Ukraine, and they just spam all sorts of hatred, and they try to basically turn people off. Yeah. Oh, it's terrible. I mean, I've been running political blogs. I've been running online communities since 1995. And on bulletin boards, on websites, email lists, everywhere. And you've always got to try to maintain order with the comments and stuff, because if you let too many bad people come and just say horrible things, people leave. We'd have this when I was writing a blog. I had one of the big American political blogs, and we would always, all the time, would have to patrol the comments and delete the bad comments because so many of the bad people would comment. I mean, just vicious, evil, nasty people that the people who wanted to come just to learn and hang out and have fun ended up leaving because they were like, it's too depressing. So for any kind of an online community like this to work, you're always going to have, and again, our moderators do it for free. Well, God bless you all. But you're always going to have people that are just keeping an eye for basically people who are being assholes, not disagreeing, but people who are being assholes, basically. Disagreeing is fine. Again, the disagreement is fun if they're nice. You know what I mean? But if they're just being dicks, then they go. Yeah. Grace, you did miss the Ukraine update. You did. There isn't a lot of news today. Ukraine lost the one key town it was trying to defend, so that was not good. That was sort of the big story of the day. That was not good at all. Thank you, DW. I did, Joe. I'm not sure, Daniel. I'm not sure what you mean there. 2 Australian engineers made something that helped Ukraine. I'm not quite sure what it is that they made, though. I was not aware, though. Miami Herald. I mean, that's always been a good paper too. I don't read it just because I can only read so many papers. But the Miami Herald was always good. Thank you, Nauseous. My refrigerator is alive and kicking decently. It's kind of back to its old self where the temperature is off. So I've got to lower it to 34 for it to be 37, but at least it's hanging in there. So I'm still a little bit afraid it's going to die and I'm going to have to desperately buy one. But refrigerators apparently all suck. So I'm holding off on buying a new one if I can help it because they're all bad, apparently. Do you think Ukrainians could push to get the town back? Probably not. I don't think so. Again, it's kind of a tie right now. When will Russia collapse? Good question, Joe. Not anytime soon, I fear, unfortunately. Again, Russia's collapse would be dangerous because they've got nuclear weapons. Would it be good for the world overall? Probably. Yeah, I know a lot of people say don't buy Samsung refrigerators. Samsung and the other one I'm forgetting, was it LG? What was the other one that I think it was LG? The other one that people hated in refrigerators. But for washers and dryers, my LG has been very good. Take my mom's fridge. Yeah, I wish. The problem is I live across the country from my mom. She's in Chicago here, and I'm in Washington D.C., so there's no way to move it. Yeah, LG was the other one that I think that was terrible. Yeah, Kenmore. I know. Yeah, LG lasted a year. That's insane for a refrigerator. Miele's German with an Italian name? I don't even know that we can get those here. I don't even know that we can FedEx. You're funny. I don't even know that we can get German refrigerators here. So I know, like the old fridge is my current fridge. It's 18 years old. It's having some issues right now, but it's too hard to get fixed because who knows I'd have to have like $300 for a guy to fix it. And then maybe it's the wrong part. And then $300 again to fix it. It's like, it may not be worth it. Yeah, I'm going to have to look. I don't care if they're dented or whatever, if it's dented on the side. I know I'm going to have to keep going and looking at the used one, not the used ones, the reduced priced ones. The problem is the reduced price ones, a lot of times they don't install it. They don't deliver and install them, I found. At least from what I was looking online. And I was like, well, that's not very helpful. Sorry, we're talking fridges now. What else? Oh, Bosch dryers have had a faulty motherboard. Wow. And I think Bosch, I always think of as being like the expensive cool washers and dryers. Wow. Scratch and dent. But did you have to put a magnet over the dent? Oh, that's funny. That's very funny. I like that. Just put a fridge magnet on it. But did they deliver it and install it for you? For the scratch and dent, Joe? Beep beep. See what else is saying. Anyway, people are now talking fridges. Your people are funny. Delivered, installed. Oh, that's interesting. From who? Now I'm going to keep looking because if I can find, like, I'm fine buying a floor model. Home Depot, I think will not. That's what I thought. Home Depot, I believe the floor models that are dented, they don't install and deliver for you, which sucks. No, true. Refrigerators should work like a good 10 years to start with. Yeah, Costco. Costco, the problem is I already dealt with Costco. Costco's delivery and installation service is horrific. I love Costco. I'm a big Costco fan. But the people who deliver and install stuff for them suck. I had them for my washer and dryer. It was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. Callum messages me, Home Depot, we got our fridge for $1,250 installed and delivered. It was half price. Well, that's not bad. So Home Depot did do that. Okay. And was that one of the, but true, Costco though, if things break, they're generally good, which is useful. But the delivery folks were just horrific, absolutely horrific. They screwed it up. They lied. It was just bad. Frigidaire, not a floor model. Oh, that's interesting. Half price. Wow. Unless you got it over Labor Day, which I was considering, but I should have done it over Labor Day. Thank you, NAR. Now, Russia's not close to using any nukes, Game Legend. No. Russia's full of bullshit. They're scared to death. They're bullies, but they're chicken shit bullies, basically. Russia can't use nukes, or they're dead if they do. I mean, it would be very bad for Russia if they use nukes and they know it. As long as we have made clear to Russia. Now, the problem is Biden. If you're Russia, you're going, if I use nukes, is Biden really going to go crazy? Really? Joe Biden, who's afraid of escalation? So if anything, I fear that Biden's fear of Putin makes Putin's use of nukes more likely, honestly. But in the end, I think Russia's full of shit. They're not going to use nukes against us. That's for sure. Because literally we'll respond and wipe them off the map. They know that. Using them against Ukraine, it just depends to what degree we scare them enough to not do it. And that depends what Biden and everybody else has told the Russians behind the scenes. So, Russia does not seem to be getting involved in the Middle East. No. Who knows, though? They could try. Well, that's not true. There's concern about the Russians fucking around with the Houthis, or the Houthis, which is bad. I mean, because Russia does like to just stir the pot, and Russia's kind of a terrorist state on its own, really. So they like to support terrorists like the Houthis and also Hezbollah and Hamas and all the rest of them. I hope he'd level their ass, Chuck, but I don't know. I didn't see that today. Andre says there was a new long-distance missile that Ukraine built and tested today. I did not see that. What about it? I guess it depends also how the test went and how quickly, even if it went well, how quickly they can ramp them up. I did see over the next year, maybe that's why I was reading about it. I read over the next year, Ukraine is hoping to build up its I don't know whether it was ballistic missiles or just long-distance missiles, but basically it's sort of long-distance missiles of its own over the next year. But I don't know what the trajectory, what the timeline is for that. Yeah, Amazon's Prime. I know Amazon's Fall Prime Day is coming up in a few days. Oh God, I could look at refrigerators again. The problem is it would have to be installed when I'm not there, unless they're willing to sit on it for 3 or 4 weeks. But I've not seen the new drones they're using. Nope. February, March for TVs. Yeah. But yeah, I'm going to look. I'll look at Amazon's Prime Day again and see. It's just, like I said, I don't trust the new refrigerators at all. I did not move to Chicago. I'm just stuck here for a bit, Morales. I'm hoping to leave at the end of the month. But that's true. Take a screenshot. Actually, the thing that's useful with the prices, Andre, is you should go, if you're looking at Amazon in the States, at least, I don't know about in Europe, but you go to a website called Camel, like camel, camel hump, camelcamel.com, and you plug in the web address of the product you're looking for. So you grab the web address on Amazon of the product, you plug it in, you search, and it shows you the price of the product throughout time on Amazon, how the price has gone up and down and up and down, and it lets you know where the price is and where it was. So when the Amazon says it's on sale, you look and you go, that's not on sale. Like the price, the average is here and now it's up here. Or you go, holy crap, the price is down here and it's usually up here. And now you know it really is a sale. It's a wonderful website. Wonderful website. So yes, you can, it's called, it literally is camel, like CAMEL, like, the Arabian Nights camel, the animal. So just camel. It's great. Now, again, it works for American Amazon. If you're abroad, you can try it there too. But you'll see, you can find the product you're looking for. And then you can also set up price reminders. So it'll tell you, it'll send you an email when the price drops. It's great. Just great. Trick-or-treaters, I think it may. You're reminding me if I'm here on Halloween, I may have to get food for the kids. Daylight savings time. Yeah, I didn't even think of that. That's kicking in. Ugh, it's gonna get dark again quickly. I hate that. All right, good night, Titch. But yeah, I don't know. Ugh, I don't want to buy a new fridge. They all suck. I just don't want to get an appliance that's going to break on me. But as I said, my fridge is holding in there, but it's kind of, just hanging in there. It's a bit worrisome, I mean, I do have a new handyman now who's a friend who does this stuff on the side for pay, and he fixed my toilet very nicely the other day. I may ask him about the fridge situation and see if he has any suggestions. If he says, oh yeah, there's a couple different parts we can try. I don't know whether he's up on that stuff. He may or may not be, but if he'd be willing to try it for a couple new parts that don't cost much, because hell, my fridge has been around for 18 years. I kind of feel like if I can fix the part that's wrong, it might hang in a little longer, time change next week for us. I don't know. You guys can ask, or Alexa, when does the time change in the US?
In Illinois, daylight saving time started on March 10th, 2024 at 2 a.m. and will end on November 3rd, 2024 at 2 a.m.
November 3rd. It's not for another month. Holy shit. I didn't know that. Oh, it doesn't end for another month, guys. Yeah, November 3rd. Okay. Oh, Gunther, you said it. Okay. So yeah, okay. So that's okay. That's not for a while. All right. Yeah, we got a month left. What do I think will happen with Iran attacking Israel? I think Israel is going to kind of have to blow the crap out of Iran to a degree. Israel cannot let countries just blow it up and say, okay, because otherwise Iran's just going to keep doing it. I kind of feel like, and it has to be disproportionate, but it should be proportionate. No, it shouldn't. It should be disproportionate. And Israel has always had a policy of disproportional response. You attack them, they'll attack you 10 times harder to tell you to basically convince you not to attack them again. I don't think Israel has much of a choice but to cause some significant damage to Iran. I really do. No, gas station was selling gas at $10 a gallon. That's obnoxious for the hurricane. That's obnoxious. Consumer Reports updated their fridge reviews. I'll take a look. I will say, so my back is itching. I hate that. Consumer Reports did have, don't you hate when you get like a little back scratch? Like, Consumer Reports' earlier refrigerator reviews were a bit goofy, I felt. It didn't feel like they were very good, meaning I just felt like they were kind of poorly done. But I'm happy to, a friend of mine subscribes. I'm happy to check it out again. Thank you, NAR, for the gift. I hope Israel goes after the nuclear facilities. They're not going to go after, they shouldn't go after the oil is tough because the oil will hurt all of us. The mic I use, well, when I'm here traveling for TikTok, I'm using my little, it's a little Sony mic, but it's really nice. They kind of changed the brand. It's like it was a $20 Sony mic that now I don't even know if they sell anymore. But it's this little guy. Oops. It's this little guy right here that's really cool. But it works very well, which I like. So, oh, yeah, it's got a good sound. I've always liked it. Like I said, back in DC, I've got a really good microphone I use. But when I'm traveling, I mean, for you guys on YouTube, I'm just using my cell phone's microphone, but it's pretty good. Although my battery is now down to 78%, which I knew it was going to do this. That even though I've got it plugged in, I think it's still wearing down the battery. So my iPhone battery is getting weaker, which I'm not happy about, but we'll see. Sorry, I don't mean to keep yawning at you. I do like Wirecutter at the New York Times. Yep, I do read them too. October 18th. That's not bad, but that's not enough. I don't know what kind of fridge. I don't care what kind of fridge, Gunther. I mean, it's got to be the right size to fit my space. Otherwise, I don't care. I want something cheap. Probably shouldn't have the freezer on top because that might be too cheap. I pretty much freezer on the bottom, and that's it. I think as little bells and whistles as possible because the refrigerators break anyway. Yeah, it's a good little mic, the Sony Clip thing. It's very good. Yeah, October 18th isn't bad. Of course, I don't know when, I'm going to be available to deliver to the room of your choice. No unpacking though. So do they not install it? We're talking about a fridge again. Yeah. Do they not install it? That would be a bit crazy. I'm reading your yawning comment and now it's making me yawn again. I did nap earlier though. Facebook Marketplace for fridges? No, but that's not the only thing is like, how do you know the fridge is working well off of Facebook Marketplace? You know what I mean? I'd almost rather grab something dented or something, a good starter mic. I don't know. I mean, it depends. I think, friends of mine had recommended that little snowball thing works quite well. It's this little round microphone. It's called the Snowball or something. You'll be able to Google it. Google like Snowball microphone. Just a round microphone. I think it's $50. It's a good mic. I used it for podcasting at the beginning. It was pretty good. There's some other ones. I'm trying to remember. It was Sensair. I have a very good one. You don't want what I've got for starting. Mine was like I don't even know what it was. $300, $400, $500 microphone. The one I've got back in DC. Thank you, Doughboy. But depending what you're doing, depends what you're doing with it though. That was a mic for my computer for podcasting. This is like a little mic for you could attach to your phone, but this one, I don't know if they make anymore. Thank you, Red Hates Me. Thank you, Doughboy. That's the only thing. Oh, sorry. PR Heil. Otanbot says a Heil PR40, H-E-I-L. PR40 is a superb microphone. Thank you, Linka, for the rose. Thank you, Red, for the hat. I did, Massimo. Thank you, Linka, for the lightning bolt. Oh, God, I don't know. Tim, I really don't know about Democrats winning the Senate. I mean, I don't know the math well enough. It's like not my expertise. I do know that, Democrats are in trouble and Montana's not helping, but I don't know. Thank you, Red. Beep, 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 beep. Yeah, I don't think I want a freezer on top. I've had it when I was renting stuff. I'm just going to get literally the cheapest. Everything I've read says get the cheapest model you can find because they all suck. And there's no point in paying $2,000 for something that's going to break in a year. You might as well get the cheapest thing and hope it doesn't break. Thank you, Randy Fred. Side-by-sides, yeah, they're nice. The only problem with the side-by-side is you've got to make sure that the side, like for the freezer, is big enough to fit pizzas and stuff. So like my sister's doesn't fit a large pizza, Thank you, Hedge. So there's weird things like that you've got to sort of pay attention. Like I'd be pissed if my fridge didn't fit like a pizza, like a normal size pizza. That would be ridiculous, actually. Thank you, Red. I would buy a used fridge if I knew it was good. That's my only concern. Thank you, Massimo. I'd want to make sure that it was a well-working fridge, and that would concern me a little bit. So that's my only concern about getting them new or used from like Facebook and stuff. I just feel like I'm not going to have any idea. There's going to be something wrong with it, and I'm not going to know what's wrong with it. But it makes me nervous. I don't want to have to buy a fridge. I just, I just think these new ones suck from everything. I did a lot of reading on it a few months ago. The new ones just suck across the board. Yeah, the garage fridge. Yeah, exactly. Well, the old ones seem to have worked better. Yeah, exactly. They die after a year to 5. Okay. Dogs needing to go out, guys. All right. I'm getting the look from the, okay. Dog's got to go pee. All right. You know what? I'm going to sign off. It's already 6:15, guys. Let me take Sasha out. All right. Taking off my mic here. You guys, goodbye. You guys, goodbye. See me tomorrow. The regular, getting her tomorrow at 6 o'clock Eastern. So I'm getting the dog's leash, 6 o'clock Eastern time. We'll see you guys tomorrow night. Thank you for joining us again. All right. I'm going to sign off. We were going to quit now anyway, but I will keep researching the fridges. All right. See you, YouTube. All right. See you, TikTok.